Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. As I mentioned in my last video, in this video I'm going to talk about how to secure Chinese scholarship based on my own experience and my friends' experience who already got scholarship for bachelor's, master's, even PhD. So I'm gonna give you amazing secret tips. Make sure you have your notebook with you and take some notes because you're gonna need them while applying for scholarship. Let's get started with the first and the golden rule. The most important rule is the deadlines. What I mean by deadlines? Just because the university is giving you time until 1st of March doesn't mean that you have time until 1st of March. Because maybe you will make some mistake when you're applying for the university and the university is gonna give you feedback. So maybe you will miss out the deadline. Make sure you apply early to avoid these misunderstandings. Another thing, maybe the most important thing, the universities are actually giving priority to the ones who apply early because they will arrange their interviews early for them and maybe, based on their student quota, they will already choose those students who will be granted for scholarship. So if you want to have higher chance, try to apply as soon as possible. First come, first served rule.
Come on, everybody!
Let's continue with the tip that saved my life in China. So what it is, when I was applying for scholarship in China, I was just checking their majors taught in Chinese or English, But there is one thing that you have to be very careful. Just because the university is saying that they have English taught degree, let's say translation, okay? Doesn't mean that they have priority scholarship for this major. No.
Of course you'll say no, bro.
Make sure you have to go to Google and search like this. CSC scholarship awards in, let's say, Shanghai University. And you have to check the majors they give priority. For example, some universities are giving priority to the major international relations. And if you're applying for tourism management in this university, you will have less chance to be awarded for the scholarship. So make sure you research well the programs. And the second thing, you have to make sure that you check out the programs that they give priority. And also maybe you can also check some, countries, the nationalities that they give priority. Because some universities have some, agreement with some universities or some countries. So if you are from Argentina, you can check the universities that they give priority to Latin American students, And if you see their, Spanish names, maybe you can also try your chance to get the scholarship. But do not forget, make sure you definitely check out the program before you apply for this scholarship. So, where did I get this rule that saved my life? Of course, Facebook groups. It is amazing, guys. There are maybe thousands, I don't know, not thousands, of course, but many groups on Facebook that are built for CSC scholarship in China. Amazing groups. And you have to follow them. Even if you don't have Facebook, go and open one Facebook page for yourself and follow these groups. What for?
Why?
Because they are gonna share their own experience. For example, let's say a student applied for Nanjing University in the department of, let's say, computer science, okay? And they will say, oh, I had an interview with this university and they asked me these questions and I answered like this, blah, 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 blah. And the other people will say, okay, maybe you should have answered like this. The other one will say, oh, that's a great answer. They're gonna give feedback on his interview experience, okay? So, if you wanna learn about the questions that they ask in the interview, you can also write a comment, write a post, I think, yeah. And say, hey, I'm applying for this university and in this major. Is anyone applied for this major or this university? What kind of questions they ask? What kind of percentage that I have to get the scholarship and this so on. Another thing, they will always share the latest updates because they also apply in the same time with you. they will say, oh, I applied this university and they told me they changed their system. So guys who are applying for this university, make sure you follow up the latest updates. So that's to say, Facebook groups are amazing. Also, you can maybe meet some buddies and they're gonna help you through the process as well. Because I remember when I was applying, there was a guy who was from Pakistan and he helped me a lot with everything. He was saying, oh, you have to change this, you have to do this, and he was giving me motivation and everything. So you should also get some buddies like this, and for this one you have to be in Facebook groups. Let's continue another tip, which is non-negotiable. It is, of course, prepare the documents well. First thing, physical check. Some students are just going to a very small hospital and get their physical check and send it to university. No, the universities will not accept this. You have to do your physical check in a university that is big and that is accepted by Chinese government. And this thing, I'm not sure, maybe they changed this rule or not, but they asked me to stamp on my picture too, my photo too, but I think it still continues, because if you don't have a stamp on your photo by the hospital, maybe you took somebody else physical check, yeah. So make sure you know this. Another thing, you have to get your reference letters from your teachers, and they have to be professor or associate professor. And if you're applying for PhD, make sure you get admission letter from your teacher in the university that you apply. You can go to their website, and I know Chinese websites are a bit difficult to find out the information, but try your best and find a university teacher, WeChat or email, and ask to them to give you admission letter. Another thing, your study plan. It is really important, and I'm telling you, they read it well. And the interview, they will ask you. So you should convince them why you want to come to China.
In China, we don't say, are you happy? We say,
they will ask you, okay, you come to China and you see maybe you don't like the food, or maybe you are not used to life here, you miss home. How to be sure that you will not leave and, not complete your study? You have to prove them this. You have to show them you already understand Chinese culture and how is the life in China. You can maybe talk about Chinese New Year or some Chinese festivals, something that is really interesting for you. And you can also include this in your study plan and say, I will be able to do this or improve my Chinese. But when you say improve my Chinese, you can say, I will get HSK blah 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 exam in the end of my study, like this. Another tip, it is very typical tip, but still I must say in this video, to learn Chinese. Why? There are so many students who are applying for English taught majors, and even if it is Chinese, if you have zero Chinese, you might be a bit difficult, to get the scholarship. But let's say you have even like the simple exam, HSK3. This will show them, wow, this student actually can get along well in China, and they will give you priority because you already have some Chinese skill. Doesn't matter, you can get some Duolingo or Chinese HSK exam better if you can, or a course that you take in Chinese, and include this in your study plan or in your application to show them you can really learn this language. Another tip, to build a great CV. It might sound like you're applying for a job, but still it matters a lot for the scholarship too. So what you can write in your CV? You can write you were a member of university student club, if you were, and you did these volunteer events or seminars, and you were responsible for these extracurricular activities. So this shows that you can actually bring something to the university too, because the universities are really giving importance to volunteer work. Because, for example, they will need some volunteers who can help them to prepare Spring New Festival activities. So you can also say, I am a person that is really good at organizing and I like volunteering, and this will be very good advantage for you. The last tip, And very typical tip as well, do not give up. So I know it's gonna be a very long journey and hard journey. Maybe you fell down. Maybe you will not be able to get a scholarship in your first year, but still don't give up. I had a friend who applied for scholarship for many years and couldn't get it. But in the last year, I think it was her fourth year, she got the scholarship. So do not give up. And so if you really want to come here, you have to try again and again. But like I said, if you watch this video and apply based on these tips, you will have higher chance to get the scholarship, maybe 85%, and in your first year. So do not give up and keep continuing to applying the scholarship, and hopefully you will be able to come to China. This was the end of my video. Thank you for watching my video until here. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and make sure you like my video. Another thing, if you have any questions regarding the scholarship in China or departments in China, you can write in comments. Even if it's not my major, I can look for friends who are studying the major that you want to get information, and maybe we can have some interview, or I can share some tips on this major as well. Any questions regarding China and work in China or education in China, whatever it is, you can ask me these questions in the comments below. Thank you so much. Have a good day and hope to see you in China.